Hi, I'm Margaret, and I need to tell you about the day I woke up from major heart surgery completely alone, only to discover that my entire family had abandoned me to take a luxury vacation to Monaco using my credit cards. They thought I'd be unconscious for days. They thought I was too weak to do anything about it. They were wrong. I was lying in my hospital bed, groggy from anesthesia, reaching for the call button because I was thirsty and needed help. That's when I saw it. A note on my bedside table in my daughter Rachel's handwriting. "Mom, you'll be fine. The nurses will take care of you. We needed this trip. See you in 2 weeks. Love, Rachel." 2 weeks. They left me alone for 2 weeks right after open heart surgery. And they were using my money to do it. But what they didn't know was that I had my phone, my laptop, and full access to every account they were trying to drain. What happened next would teach them a lesson they'd never forget. Before we continue, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and subscribe for more stories like mine. My name is Margaret Thornton. I'm 69 years old, and until 3 months ago, I thought I had a loving, supportive family. I'm a widow. My husband Robert died 5 years ago from complications of diabetes. He was only 64, and his death devastated me. But Robert had been a successful commercial real estate developer, and he left me very well taken care of. Between his life insurance, our investments, and the sale of his business, I had approximately $3.2 million in assets. I have 2 children. My daughter Rachel is 44 years old, married to a man named Derek, and they have 2 teenage children, Sophie and Jake. My son Mitchell is 41, married to a woman named Vanessa, and they have 1 daughter, Emma, who's 10. Before all this happened, I thought my children were responsible, loving adults who appreciated everything their father and I had done for them. I'd always been generous with my family. When Rachel and Derek needed help with their down payment, I gave them $80,000. When Mitchell's business was struggling, I invested $120,000 to keep it afloat. I paid for private school tuition for all 3 grandchildren, which cost me about $45,000 a year. I took everyone on vacation every year, always footing the entire bill. Last year's trip to Hawaii cost me $38,000. I never minded being generous. I had the money and I loved seeing my family happy. But looking back now, I realize I wasn't being generous. I was being used. 3 months ago I started having chest pains. First I thought it was just indigestion or stress. But when the pain persisted, I went to see my cardiologist, Dr. Richard Chen. After running several tests, including an angiogram, Dr. Chen sat me down with a serious expression. "Margaret, you have severe blockages in 3 major arteries. I could die." "Come on, Mom, don't be dramatic. Dr. Chen is the best cardiologist in the state. You'll be fine. And honestly, you'll probably be sleeping most of the time anyway. We'd just be sitting around the hospital doing nothing." I sat there in my living room, phone in my hand, trying to process what my children had just said. Neither of them was planning to be there for my surgery. Neither of them seemed to think it was a big deal that I'd be alone during one of the most frightening experiences of my life. Over the next few weeks, as I prepared for surgery, both Rachel and Mitchell would occasionally ask how I was feeling, but the conversations always seemed perfunctory, like they were checking a box. Neither of them offered to cancel their trips. Neither of them seemed to understand how terrified I was. A week before my surgery, Rachel called. "Mom, I've been thinking. Since Derek and I will be in Monaco anyway, and Mitchell will be in Arizona, maybe we could all extend our trips a little? Make them family vacations. The kids would love it." "Rachel, I'll be recovering from major surgery." "I know, but you'll have nurses at the hospital, and then you can hire someone to help at home. We never get to take vacations like this. And honestly, Mom, you'd want us to be happy, right?" Something in the way she said it made my stomach turn. "How exactly are you planning to pay for these extended vacations?" There was a pause. "Well, I thought maybe you could help. You always do. Think of it as an early birthday present for all of us. You want me to pay for you to take luxury vacations while I'm recovering from heart surgery. When you put it like that, it sounds bad. But Mom, you have so much money. What are you saving it all for? We're your family. Don't you want to help us make memories?" That's when I realized something that should have been obvious years ago. My children didn't see me as their mother. They saw me as a bank account. But I didn't say anything. Not yet. I just said, "Let me think about it." 2 days before my surgery, both Rachel and Mitchell came to my house for what they called a pre-surgery dinner. I cooked a full meal, set the table with my best china, and hoped that maybe, finally, they'd show some real concern for what I was about to go through. Instead, the conversation was entirely about their upcoming trips. Rachel showed me pictures of the resort in Monaco where Derek's company retreat was being held. "It's right on the Mediterranean," she gushed. 5-star accommodations, a private beach, amazing restaurants. Derek's boss rented out the entire resort. "That sounds lovely," I said. "When do you leave?" "The day after your surgery." Derek's flight leaves at 6 a.m. I felt like I'd been slapped. Rachel, I'll still be in the ICU. I know, but there's nothing I can do to help while you're there. The nurses will take care of everything. And honestly, Mom, you're going to be sleeping anyway. Mitchell chimed in. Vanessa and I are leaving the morning of your surgery. Our flight is at 10 a.m. We figured we'd visit you the night before, which is today, so you won't be alone. I looked at my two children sitting at my table, eating the food I'd prepared, and realized they had already decided I wasn't worth canceling their vacations for. They weren't even planning to be there when I woke up from surgery. How are you paying for these trips? I asked quietly. Rachel and Mitchell exchanged a glance. Well, Rachel said carefully, we were hoping you might help. It's just that with the kids' school expenses and the mortgage and everything, we're a little tight right now. You want me to pay for your vacations while I'm having heart surgery? It's not like that, Mom, Mitchell said. Think of it as an investment in our well-being. If we're stressed and burned out, we can't take care of you properly when you get home. I took a deep breath. How much do you need? Rachel brightened immediately. I was thinking maybe $25,000. That would cover extending our stay in Monaco for a week, and taking the kids to do some excursions. And we need about $18,000, Mitchell added. Vanessa really wants to do this couple's spa package, and Emma wants to take horseback riding lessons while we're there. $43,000. They wanted $43,000 to abandon me during major surgery. Let me think about it, I said again. After they left, I sat at my kitchen table for a long time. Then I made a decision. I went to my home office and pulled out my credit cards. I had 5 cards with high limits, all paid off. I also had my checkbook, my banking information, and access to all my investment accounts. The next morning, the day before my surgery, I did something I'd never done before. I gave Rachel my American Express card with a $50,000 limit. I gave Mitchell my Visa card with a $40,000 limit. For your trips, I said. Have a wonderful time. Their faces lit up like children on Christmas morning. Both of them hugged me and told me how much they loved me, how generous I was, how they'd bring me back wonderful souvenirs. Neither of them offered to cancel their trips. That afternoon I packed my hospital bag. I included my phone, my iPad, my laptop, and all the chargers. I also brought a file folder with all my account information, passwords, and contact numbers for my banks, credit card companies, and investment firms. If my children thought I'd be too weak and drugged to manage my affairs, they were in for a surprise. The morning of my surgery, Mitchell and Vanessa came to my house at 7 a.m. They stayed for exactly 20 minutes, just long enough to drive me to the hospital and see me checked in. We have to go, Mom, Mitchell said, checking his watch. Our flight boards in 2 hours and security is always crazy. You're leaving now. Before my surgery. The nurses will take you to pre-op, Vanessa said. You're in good hands. We'll call you when we land. They left. My son walked out of that hospital while I was being prepped for open heart surgery, so he wouldn't miss his flight to a wellness retreat. Rachel never came at all. When I texted her to ask where she was, she replied, Derek's flight was moved up. Already at the airport. You'll be fine, Mom. The surgery is routine. Love you. I was taken to pre-op at 9 a.m. Dr. Chen came in to review everything one more time. Is your family here? He asked, looking around the empty pre-op bay. They had travel plans they couldn't cancel, I said. Dr. Chen, I don't see anyone listed as having visited. Would you like me to call someone for you? That's when I saw the note. Someone, probably Rachel, had left it on my bedside table before the surgery. I asked the nurse to hand it to me. Mom, you'll be fine. The nurses will take care of you. We needed this trip. See you in 2 weeks. Love, Rachel. 2 weeks. They were planning to be gone for 2 weeks. And they expected the hospital staff to take care of me until then. I asked the nurse what day it was and what time. It was 7 p.m. the day of my surgery, which meant Rachel was currently somewhere over the Atlantic, and Mitchell was at his wellness retreat, both of them using my credit cards. The nurse brought me my belongings, including my phone. I had several texts. From Rachel. Landed in Monaco. Hotel is amazing. How did the surgery go? From Mitchell. At the retreat. Already feeling so relaxed. Hope you're doing okay. Neither of them had called the hospital to check on me. Neither of them had asked the nurses how the surgery went. They just assumed I was fine and continued with their vacations. That's when I made my decision. I was weak, in pain, and alone. But I wasn't helpless. I asked the nurse to bring me my laptop. Are you sure you should be working? She asked, concerned. Just some personal business I need to handle. First, I logged into my American Express account. Rachel had already charged $8,734 in the past 12 hours. Flights for the whole family, a hotel room upgrade, dinner at a Michelin star restaurant, designer clothes from the hotel boutique. I called American Express from my hospital bed. I need to report fraudulent charges, I said, my voice still weak from the breathing tube. Ma'am, are you all right? You sound unwell. I just had heart surgery. My daughter took my credit card without permission and is using it in Monaco. I need the card cancelled immediately and all charges from the past 24 hours disputed. I'm so sorry to hear about your surgery. Let me help you right away. Within 15 minutes, Rachel's card was cancelled and the charges were being reversed. Next, I called Visa and did the same thing with Mitchell's card. $6,291 in charges, including spa treatments, excursions, and a couple's massage package. All disputed, all reversed. Then I called my bank. I need to change the access codes on all my accounts and remove any authorized users. Both Rachel and Mitchell had been authorized users on my checking account, able to write checks and make withdrawals. I removed them immediately and changed all my passwords. Next, I logged into my investment accounts and contacted my financial advisor, Robert Kim. Robert, I need to make some changes to my beneficiaries and my power of attorney. Margaret, shouldn't you wait until you're recovered from surgery to make major decisions? This can't wait. My children abandoned me during surgery to go on luxury vacations using my money. I need to make changes now. I changed the beneficiaries on all my accounts. Rachel and Mitchell were no longer inheriting anything automatically. Instead, everything would go into a trust with very specific conditions, managed by Robert and my attorney Patricia Mendez. Then I changed my power of attorney from Rachel to Patricia Mendez. If something happened to me, Rachel would have no access to my medical decisions or my finances. Finally, I drafted an email to both Rachel and Mitchell. My hands were shaking and it hurt to type, but I managed. Dear Rachel and Mitchell, I woke up from surgery this evening to discover that both of you chose to go on vacation rather than be here for me. You left me completely alone during one of the most frightening experiences of my life. You will discover that your credit cards have been cancelled and the charges reversed. You will also discover that you no longer have access to any of my bank accounts. When you return from your vacations, we will have a serious conversation about your expectations of me and my role in your lives. Until then, do not contact me unless you're willing to come home immediately. I hit send and then collapsed back against my pillows, exhausted. The pain medication was making me drowsy, but I felt a sense of satisfaction I hadn't felt in years. I'd been weak, vulnerable, and alone. But I'd still managed to take back control of my life. My phone started ringing within 15 minutes. Rachel. I declined the call. She called again. Declined. Then Mitchell called. Declined. The text started pouring in. Rachel. What did you do? My card isn't working. Mitchell. Mom, there must be some mistake. My card was declined at dinner. Can you fix it? Rachel. This is so embarrassing. The hotel is saying my card was declined. Everyone is staring at us. Mitchell. Mom, this isn't funny. We're stuck here with no way to pay for anything. Rachel. Answer your phone. Derek's boss is here and we look like idiots. I turned my phone to silent and went to sleep. Let them figure it out. The next morning I woke up to 47 missed calls and 89 text messages. I didn't read them. Instead, I asked my nurse if Patricia had called. She had, and she was in the waiting room. Patricia came into my ICU room with tears in her eyes. Margaret, I'm so sorry. I would have been here for your surgery if I'd known they weren't coming. It's okay. I needed to learn this lesson. What lesson? That I've been enabling my children to treat me like an ATM instead of their mother. That ends now. Patricia stayed with me for the rest of the day. She helped me eat, brought me things I needed, and kept me company. She was a better family member than my own children had been. On day 3, the calls and texts from Rachel and Mitchell stopped being angry and started being desperate. Rachel. Mom, please. Derek's company is paying for his room but not for me or the kids. We can't afford any of the activities. The kids are bored and upset. Please turn the card back on. Mitchell. Mom, Vanessa is furious. She says I embarrassed her in front of everyone at the retreat. We have 4 more days here and no money. Please help. Rachel. Mom, I'm sorry. I should have been there. Please, can we talk about this? I responded to both of them with the same message. You made your choice when you left me alone for surgery. Now deal with the consequences. By day 5, I was moved from the ICU to a regular room. Patricia visited every day, bringing me books, magazines, and her famous lemon squares. My neighbor Tom brought me a jigsaw puzzle to work on. My friend Dorothy from book club sent a beautiful flower arrangement. My children, still on vacation, still texting me angry messages about how I was ruining their trips. On day 7, I was discharged from the hospital. Patricia had arranged for a home health aide named Marie to stay with me for the first 2 weeks. Marie was wonderful, helping me with everything I couldn't do myself while I recovered. Rachel and Mitchell were due home in 1 week. I spent that week getting stronger, taking short walks around my house, and working with my attorney to set up a new trust structure for my estate. Are you sure you want to do this? Patricia Mendez asked me. These are harsh terms. They abandoned me during open-heart surgery to go on luxury vacations using my money, I said. These terms are more than fair. The new trust specified that Rachel and Mitchell would only inherit if they met certain conditions. They had to pay back every dollar I'd given them over the past 5 years with interest, they had to complete family therapy, and they had to demonstrate consistent, genuine care for me for at least 2 years. If they refused or failed to meet these conditions, their inheritance would go to charity. When Rachel and Mitchell finally returned home, they came to my house together. I was sitting in my living room when they arrived, looking stronger than I had in weeks. Mom, we need to talk, Rachel started. What you did was completely unfair. You ruined our vacations. I ruined your vacations, I said calmly. You left me alone during open-heart surgery. You were fine, Mitchell said. The doctors took care of you. I woke up terrified and in pain with no family around me. I had a breathing tube down my throat and no one there to hold my hand or tell me everything would be okay. Mom, don't be so dramatic, Rachel said. People have surgery all the time without their families there. You're right, I said. And those people often realize who actually cares about them and who just cares about their money. That's when I explained the new terms of their inheritance. The room went silent as I laid out the conditions. This is ridiculous, Mitchell shouted. You can't do this. I absolutely can. And I have. Mom, we're your children, Rachel said, tears in her eyes. You can't cut us out. I'm not cutting you out. I'm giving you an opportunity to prove that you care about me as a person, not just as a source of money. We do care about you. Then prove it. Pay me back the money you've taken. Come to therapy with me. Show me that I matter to you as more than a bank account. They left angry. Over the next few weeks, I received several angry calls and texts. But slowly something changed. Mitchell called one evening. Mom, I've been thinking. You're right. We treated you terribly. Vanessa and I want to come to therapy with you. Rachel took longer, but eventually she called too. Mom, I'm sorry. Really sorry. Can we start over? I don't know if things will ever be the same with my children. But I learned something important during those lonely days in the hospital. I learned that I'm strong enough to stand up for myself, even from a hospital bed. I learned that real family shows up when you need them, not just when you have money to give them. And I learned that sometimes the best gift you can give your children is to stop giving them everything they want and start teaching them what it means to truly care for someone. My money, my choice, my dignity. And from my hospital bed, I took it all back. So that's my story. Have you ever had to stand up for yourself when you were at your most vulnerable? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more stories like mine.